Sleepy town settled for the night, where every lawn is tailored just right. And it's about time that the back porch light comes on. At that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street. All right.
Hey, Witch,
Everybody take a breath. Hey, Witch, hey.
Hey, Witch.
I'm Justina.
I'm Christina. Welcome to Magnolia Street, your one and only musically inspired practical magic fandom podcast.
Every week, we deep dive on different aspects of the movie and the books. And if you've been listening from the very beginning, you guys would know that we, the Stinas, have written many practical magic inspired original songs that every so often we share with you via these song-i-SODEs. We actually started this podcast as a way for Christina and I to showcase some of this awesome music we've been writing that will help keep you immersed in the world of the Owens family in a more musical way, if that's your thing.
Yeah, if you guys have been keeping up with our musical journey, you've been able to see all the amazing things we've been able to manifest as a result of this podcast.
Yeah, this past summer we were able to connect with Plaid Dog Recording, which is a studio up in Boston that specializes in helping small artists just like us raise the funds to record professional radio-ready songs.
And once we decided that we wanted to work with them, things went relatively quickly. In September, we went up to Boston to record our first single, Magnolia Street, and within a very short week of getting that final mix back, we had launched our crowdfunding campaign, which ran through the end of October 2023.
Yeah, you guys helped us raise $11,000 to get back into the studio to record 4 more songs. So we just want to send you guys all of our deepest gratitude for helping us do just that.
Yeah, speaking of, we thought we would give you guys a little update on the status of our Plaid Dog project. So at this time, we are waiting on some rough mixes for the rest of our songs. And once we get those, we can start post-production, which is adding any other elements to fill things out, like keys or tambourine, maracas, whatever. Maracas. You know what instrument I think is underrated? Is the didgeridoo.
The
I could rock out to a didgeridoo for
wow. You know who plays the didgeridoo? Are you a fan of Incubus? Brandon Boyd plays the didgeridoo.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he does. He plays a lot of weird shit. So yeah, but once the rest of the elements are added to our recordings, anything else that we want to add, we could start making any last minute changes to our vocals and our comps and start mixing and mastering. It really is quite the process, but we have done our part in the studio and now it's pretty much out of our hands. Our producer, Mike, has been pretty swamped with some other projects, so things are kind of at a standstill at the moment.
Yeah, but fear not. In the meantime, we have actually started to send out some of our donor perks. So if you did donate to our Plaid Dog campaign back in October 2023, keep a lookout for an envelope from us with some goodies.
Yeah, we already started seeing some posts from you guys on the Instagram, so definitely keep posting those. We love seeing you guys so excited to open your envelopes and packages from us.
Yeah. So any more business before we get down to business?
Actually, before we get into today's original song, I actually wanted to show you something else really quick. This was the little surprise I was alluding to when I talked to you this past week. I was like, I have something to show you, but I was like, it might be better for the song-i-SODE.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm ready.
All right. So as we all know, AI seems to be taking over the world, right?
Yeah.
We've used ChatGPT quite a bit on this show, generating fan fiction for you guys. And if you're a patron of ours, we have AI generated some art as well to go along with some of those silly fanfic stories and posted them over on the Patreon. So go check that out if that interests you. But what I wanted to share with you today is an AI generated song. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So my friend Heather reached out to me this past weekend and told me about this new AI website that is specifically geared toward generating AI music. This is not sponsored, by the way. We're not getting paid to feature this on the show today, but I just wanted to shout it out because I'm just so fascinated by the world of AI and its capabilities and what it can bring to any creative's life these days. You know, sometimes you get a little stuck or get a little creative block, and it can help jog some inspiration. And
absolutely,
not to copy or not to like cheat, but if you need to jog that inspiration, it can get you started, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that AI music, fucking hilarious. It's really good.
It's crazy. There is this website that just came out in September of 2023 called Suno, and you can go to Suno, SUNO.com to check this out. And this is on their About page. It's just a little more about their application and what they do. So it says, Suno is building a future where anyone can make great music Whether you're a shower singer or a charting artist, we break barriers between you and the song you dream of making. No instrument needed, just your imagination, from your mind to music. We are a team of musicians and artificial intelligence experts based in Cambridge, Massachusetts. We are proud alumni of pioneering tech companies like Meta, TikTok, and Kensho, where our founding team worked together before starting Suno. We like to ship code, make music, and drink coffee. Our company culture is all about music and experimenting with sound, from lunchroom conversations to the studio in our office. If you're any of these things or nothing of the sort, we would love to hear from you. And it kind of sounds like that's like the same kind of stuff.
That's our vibe.
Yeah. Music, coffee, what more can you ask for? So with that being said, there are some stipulations. Anybody can sign up for free for an account on Suno and generate songs for free. With the free membership, you get, I think, 50 credits per day, which is around 5 songs or so. I think each song is like 10 credits or something like that. So while it's completely free to join in on the fun and generate songs to your liking every day, I'm pretty sure you can't use the tracks commercially unless you are under one of their premium tiers. So for example, you can generate a song, but you can't release the song under like a distributor like CD Baby, which then pushes it out to music marketplaces like Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, etc. Right?
That's a lot of songs a day. 5 songs a day?
You can write a whole album in like a week.
A whole album.
And as long as you're under that premium membership, you get the commercial rights. So you can, like, I guess, re-record them and maybe put them out. But again, do your own research. I think Suno has a whole terms of use page that you could check out. So we can link that if you guys are interested in utilizing this in your own songwriting.
Wow.
So I wanted to show you, Christina, the song that I generated today.
Okay. All right.
And it's really simple how it works. Basically, like with any AI, you type in a prompt for what you want to create, in this case, your song description, and then it takes a moment to generate the song. So this was the prompt that I typed in, okay? I said, write a pop singer-songwriter chick song about Justina and Christina, the hosts of Magnolia Street Podcast, a practical magic fandom podcast, and their quest is to get author Alice Hoffman to notice them.
This is like a Tenacious D quest.
And this is the lyrics. I'll read you the lyrics that it spit out first, okay? Before I show you the actual song. So the first verse goes like this. Late at night on Magnolia Street, Justina and Christina sharing dreams so sweet. A podcast they created, magical and true, diving deep into practical magic with you. And then verse 2 says, with voices that mesmerize, they spin tales of delight. Every episode's a journey under moonlit nights. They're on a quest to reach the stars above, to catch the attention of dear Alice Hoffman, their love.
Oh my God.
And there's a third verse. Whispers in the wind, their words begin to rise, a spell woven in melodies reaching the skies. With every episode, their fandom grows strong, hoping Alice Hoffman will hear their magical song.
Yes, queen. Oh, that's cute. That's really cute.
So cute. So it actually generates 2 different styles of the same lyrical content. So I'll show you those 2 songs now and you can tell me which one you like better. They're kind of like along the same vibe, but one of them has like male vocals. So like it did a couple different things. Yeah. So I'll show you the first one right now.
I want to hop on this site. Oh my God, that would be so fun.
Late at night on Magnolia Street, Justina and Christina sharing dreams so sweet. A podcast they created, magical and true, diving deep into practical magic with you. With voices that mesmerize, they spin tales of delight. Every episode's a journey under moonlit nights. They're on a quest to reach the stars above, to catch the attention of dear Alice Hoffman, their love. Whispers in the wind, their words begin to rise, a spell woven in melodies reaching the skies. With every episode, their fandom grows strong, hoping Alice Hoffman will hear their magical song.
Yeah, so it just ends there. I don't know if they let you like elaborate or like finish the song.
Yeah, we need a hook and we need a chorus.
Yeah.
Do they give you like the chords, or you got to figure them out if you wanted
Oh,
to play them?
yeah, you'd probably have to figure them out. I really
That'd
don't.
be not a big deal.
Yeah, but if you like sign up for a premium membership, I'm not sure if it finishes a song for you. I really don't know like what lies beyond that premium paywall, you know?
That is so cute.
Yeah. So that was the first one. So the second one, the lyrics are the same, and it's got like the same kind of feel, like acoustic kind of vibe, but it's a little catchier. It sounds more, I guess, like you could probably hear it on the radio, and there's a male voice on it as well.
Oh, I'm
So
ready.
this is version number 2.
Late at night on Magnolia Street, Justina and Christina sharing dreams so sweet. A podcast they created, magical and true, diving deep into practical magic with you.
With voices that mesmerize, they spin tales of delight. Every episode's a journey under moonlit nights. They're on a quest to reach the stars above, to catch the attention of dear Alice Hoffman, their love.
Whispers in the wind, the words begin to rise, a spell woven in melodies reaching the skies. With every episode, their fandom grows strong, hoping Alice Hoffman will hear their magical song.
That drop, man.
Right?
It sounds like something we would write.
Right.
Whispers in the wind, the words begin to rise, a spell woven in melodies reaching the skies. With every episode, the fandom grows strong, hoping Alice Hoffman will hear their magical song.
How fun are those?
That is so cool. I can't wait to check this site out.
Isn't that adorable?
Ah, because you have these narratives in your head that sometimes, like, either you don't have the talent to put them into music,
Yeah.
or you're stuck on a melody. That is so cool.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. So if you guys want to check that out, that's suno.com, SUNO, and check it out. Go over there and see what kind of fun songs you can generate. And I'm sure maybe we'll be using this a lot on our show just to fuck around with some fanfic
Oh,
songs.
girl, every character needs a theme song.
Right?
That's
Because
amazing.
we haven't written enough music like already.
Never enough.
It's never
Oh
enough music.
my God. I love it. And guys, let us know which version you like better.
Yeah, maybe we'll put a poll below on the Spotify. If you guys listen to us on Spotify and you want to weigh in, tell us which one you liked better, number 1 or number 2.
Thank you for doing that. How did you find that?
Yeah, my friend sent me the link and she was like, check this out. This is like really, really neat.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I
Yeah.
love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So, are you ready to get into today's episode?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Today, we're talking about another one of our Practical Magic inspired original songs called Meet Me in the Garden. And this song is a celebration of the spring and the seasons of growth and abundance. And this one is inspired by Sally and Gary's budding romance and their passionate movie kiss in the Owens' magical, lush garden at the end of the film.
Yeah, in the sheet music that like remember when we had like started our Evernote files, we had the documents ping-ponging back and forth. At the top of this one, this is what I had. And this was like I think like a note to you so you can kind of get the gist of the song before you listen to it. Before I sent you that first demo. I said, I wrote this with that scene in mind from the end of the movie where Sally meets Gary in the garden and she looks so pretty. Heart face, heart face, heart face, heart face. I just envisioned all the sights and sounds that Sally experienced in that magical moment. Just recorded up to the bridge. I'll have to re-record it later with the end. I'm picturing this sounding super ethereal, and that instrumental part, I'm hearing like an accordion solo, like Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer, and the D chord gives it such a whimsical sound. So that was like kind of like the notes that I left you on the track before I guess you listened to the demo. Yeah, so this song is super romantic, and when I was writing it, I was kind of putting myself into that movie scene at the end of the film where Crystal by Stevie Nicks starts playing, and Gary's waiting for Sally in the garden at dusk, and she just comes out of the brush just looking like a goddess
Yeah.
with her like wearing that beautiful black sheer lace dress with her hair all wavy and wild, and she walks up to Gary and they just share the most romantic movie kiss I
Yeah.
think my teenage heart could have ever seen.
Yeah, so wholesome.
Right.
Passionate. Yeah.
Yeah, and if that scene didn't make you believe in true love, right, I don't know what did. So I knew going into this project that I really wanted to write a song that had tons of visual elements of the Owens lush garden and all the magic and romance that it exudes. And this song was one of our later songs. Again, the majority of our songs that were written for this project were all done February of 2022, except for a few that trickled out a little later on. But this song in particular was done toward the end of February 2022, specifically the 26th through the 28th of that month. So this was on the tail end of that big gush of inspiration that fueled this entire catalog of songs for the most part.
That's insane. It was like a month
Yeah.
span.
Yeah, just about. And I think I counted in my voice notes like the order, and I think this was either 18 or 19 of like the songs that I started working on. And I think we wrote like 20 or 20 something songs in that span of that month. So this was on the end of all the inspiration. So I remember working on this song in one of the same sessions that I was writing Circle of Brooms. So these two songs were kind of written in the same day. And we have not done a episode for Circle of Brooms yet, but we're gonna
It's
get
so they're both. I can't pick a favorite
yeah.
out of I love them all, but
Right.
those two are definitely they give you such well, at least me. They give me a lump in my throat. I Marco you sometimes like I'm listening to you sing and you're like, shut up, dork.
Yeah,
Pull yourself together.
Christina Mark was me crying sometimes. And she's like, I just listened to another song. And I'm like, oh my God.
Pull it together.
Big dork energy over there, but I love it. I love it. So, yeah, maybe because I wrote these two in the same day that kind of have that like same energy that just hits you in the feels.
Mhm.
So I remember after I had finished writing Circle of Brooms, I remember just messing around with the chord progression that sounded really whimsical. Instead of your standard D chord, I was playing around with like D7, which just gives it more of a playful feel. And that chord reminded me of that song Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer. I think they used that chord in that song. It just feels very whimsical, very 90s. And as I played it, it just took me to the garden, the Owens garden in my mind. And now, mind you, as I was playing these chords, I didn't have a concept or lyrics at all yet. I was just strumming chords in a very like organic way in a 3/4 waltz kind of style. And as I was strumming them, in my mind, I was in the Owens garden. Yeah.
Delightful.
I have about, let's see how many drafts I have here. Like six, I think like 5 drafts, and then the sixth one is the full recording of the song because that's what I do. I end up, writing the song in pieces, and I'll do a draft of like the first verse or like the draft of the first chorus or the bridge. And then once I'm done and like the whole song is pretty much mapped out and I have all these different drafts, I'll just do one whole recording after I have the whole song mapped out and record it as a whole.
Mhm.
So that's the last recording I have of that song, which is I labeled it draft 6, but instead of playing that draft, I'll play it for you guys live today. So we'll do that a little later on. But let's go back to draft 1. The inception of the song started February 26th, 2022. And in this draft, you can tell the idea is very fresh. I'm just strumming, the lyrics here are very minimal, but every now and then I sing a few lines as they come to me. And the first lyrics that came to me for this draft were the first 2 lines of the very first verse. And those lines are, I love the way the wisteria sways in the breeze, and I've never smelled lilac so sweet. And that was all I had for the first verse.
Mhm.
And then I kind of just hummed the rest of the melody I was hearing that would end that verse. And then I will go back later on and add lyrics to the rest of that verse melody. Now, the pre-chorus in this draft is kind of bare. I didn't have any melody here yet, so I'm just kind of like strumming. Some of the chords I play here don't reflect what the chords ended up becoming after I finished writing the song, but it was just kind of like I was jogging ideas and trying to get a flow going,
Mhm.
I do end the pre-chorus here on a D chord, which sets me up to ascend into the high note at the top of the chorus. So the chorus in this draft, I sing. It's a bit different as far as the inflections go. I sing Meet Me in the Garden a bit more staccato than when it ended up being. I think where the song ultimately landed, I hold out Meet Me, like meet me, like I do like a
Like a
vocal.
swing.
Yeah, it's more flowy and more held out. In this version, I think it's like, meet me in the garden. It's more like staccato.
Okay.
So it might be cool, like once we actually record the song, to do the staccato maybe the first verse, and then for the second verse, maybe hold it out to give it a little more dynamic. So that might be fun to play with.
All right.
Yeah, so I held out meet me. Eventually, held out meet me to give that word meet. It makes it soar a little bit more. It gives that chorus a little more height as it kicks in. Also, in this draft, I only have the first 2 lines of that chorus, and that line is, so meet me in the garden under the moon. And
That's a good word for the way that meet, the way you sing meet makes you feel. You're soaring, you're getting swept off your feet, right?
Mhm.
By that knight in shining armor,
By that man.
Sally Owens.
So, yeah, those were the only 2 words or the only 2 lines I had for that chorus. So, meet me in the garden under the moon. That's all I had. And even though those were the only lyrics I have for the chorus at this point, I strum out the rest of the chorus. And it's funny how when I'm writing, I like intuitively add change ups for like the end of the chorus to like sum it up and give it some resolve. So then it sets us up nicely for the next verse. And you'll kind of see what I mean when I show you the draft. In this case, I think I added an A minor here at the end of the chorus to indicate that that would be the end of the chorus. And then I go back to strumming the post-chorus chords, which then eventually sets you up nicely for the next verse. So this is draft 1, basically all the stuff that I told you, but I'll show you what it sounds like. So here it goes. So meet me in the garden.
Love the way the wisteria sways in the breeze, and I've never smelled lilac so sweet. So meet me in the garden under the moon.
So that was draft 1. So draft 2 also recorded the same day, February 26, 2022. In this next draft, I'm more refining the first verse. So in this draft, I had refined the first verse, adding lyrics to that second half of that melody for draft 1. The lyrics of the rest of verse 1 are the first 2 lines, I love the way the wisteria sway in the breeze, and I've never smelled lilac so sweet. So then I finished that verse with, and the day that the nightshade it brought you to me, underneath that cursed rose canopy. I really wanted to paint this picture of the Owens garden using as much visual imagery as possible. Like when you listen to this song, I want you to feel that breeze of the wisteria swaying. I want you to smell that sweet and intoxicating lilac. The line, the day the nightshade brought you to me, is referencing the belladonna that Sally uses in Jimmy's murder, and Gary coming to town looking for Jimmy, finding Sally under that arbor of roses that had mysteriously bloomed overnight. Gary finding the little belladonna seeds in the car and that whole situation. I just think the word nightshade is so excellently witchy, and if you guys are into herbal magic or listen to our belladonna episode, we talked about how belladonna is a type of nightshade. So I use nightshade here to loosely reference the belladonna because the word belladonna doesn't really fit here. I mean, I could have used the word belladonna, but I didn't think it
Twice
fit.
as many syllables.
Right. I didn't think it fit that well here. With nightshade, I love the vowel sound of the A here. And also we use belladonna in our Jimmy's song, Hey Jimmy. So I didn't want to overdo the use of belladonna. I think the fun thing about songwriting, especially if you're writing a collection of songs whose stories kind of intertwine with one another, is finding fun and interesting ways of alluding to the same things, but using different wording to keep things engaging and not redundant or monotonous.
Agreed, yes.
Right? So I thought Nightshade was such a beautiful way to depict belladonna in a different light here. So let's talk about the pre-chorus. So in this draft 2, I start off with, but would you change anything? And then I stopped strumming for a moment to gather my thoughts on a lyrical hit that the muses were feeding to me in real time. And you can hear this on the recording. Like, I'm kind of like, just kind of like absorbing. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's what needs to be there. And then once I get the lyric in my mind, I continue singing, 'cause baby, I know you feel the magic too. And then the rest of that pre-chorus is, well, I planted lavender and baby, my luck, well, it brought me to you. I guess maybe we can listen to that draft first and then talk about the rest of it just so you guys can, know what I'm talking about. So,
Okay.
here
I
it is.
remember you telling me you wanted to fill it with as much botanical references as possible.
Yeah, definitely. I think we accomplished that for sure. Like, I was
Totally.
just loaded up with all the flowers and all the trees. And
Everything, though, is mentioned in the movie or
Yeah.
the books. So,
Right.
yeah, totally. You got it. Nailed it.
So here's draft 2. This is like verse 1 and pre-chorus 2.
Love the way the wisteria sways in the breeze, and I've never smelled lilac so sweet. And the day that the nightshade it brought you to me, underneath the cursed rose, can it be? But would you change anything? 'Cause baby, I know you feel the magic too. Well, I planted lavender, baby, my luck, well, it brought me to you. So meet me in the garden under the moon. So wait. Meet me in the garden under the moon. Da, 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 da,
Your brain is working.
Yeah, so you see how like I kind of stop and I'm like, oh no, yeah, all right, that's what needs to be there, and then I keep going. So now that you kind of heard the melody for that, 'cause baby, I know you feel the magic too, that pre-chorus.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the vocal style there. So in my mind, while I was singing this and recording this draft, I was getting that like Faith Hill kind of vibe, because there's a certain tone that she has in like her inflections, and she's got that country twang. Obviously, she's a country artist, so vocally. That's what I think I was trying to emulate here, and I don't know if it's just because Faith Hill was a part of the Practical Magic soundtrack and she was a huge
Right.
artist during that time, so maybe a lot of her I feel like a lot of her style has been prevalent in the music that we've made for this project thus far, right?
Agreed.
And it always comes back to like something Faith Hill has done, and even when not trying it, I feel like it just subconsciously made its way in, and every now and then I get a glimmer of it in like certain spots.
90s love.
Totally. So I feel like this pre-chorus specifically, I was definitely getting that Faith Hill kind of that country twang in her inflections and some of the things that she does. Lyrically, that whole line, that plant lavender for luck, that whole line is a play on that old wives' tale that's prevalent in the film and the book. I love the idea of Sally planting lavender kind of like as a supplement to her Amas Veritas true love spell. Yeah, she did the whole rose petal moon spell, but when she sent those petals off into the moonlight, like it was kind of out of her hands, right? So I could totally see her as a Virgo in my mind anyway, like, right? We kind of think she's a Virgo anyway.
Yeah. Did you hear Karen made a slip also? She was like, that Virgo.
She
She called
did.
her a Virgo too.
Yeah.
I think she senses it.
Definitely. So I feel like Sally planting that lavender for luck is kind of like a way of like having her feel like she has some sort of control over her destiny. Like, if I plant this, it will give me that extra bit of luck I need to ensure that this man I invented actually exists. It's like it was a practice that she could continue to do to make herself feel like she was enhancing the spell. This is just me creatively theoreticizing in my mind, like while I'm writing a song, connecting threads and like giving the story this new life through song, right?
Absolutely. You become the character.
Exactly. So In this draft, I still only have that first line of the chorus, meet me in the garden under the moon. I didn't even have the rest of the melody for the chorus yet at this point. In the draft I just played you can kind of hear me just moving my voice around, trying to figure out the melody and what I want it to be. So yeah, this draft, there were no chorus lyrics and no set melody yet.
Okay.
So let's move on to draft number 3. Again, recorded the same day, February 26, 2022. And this draft, the top of the song is pretty much the same, so I'm going to focus from the chorus on. In this draft, I have written the rest of chorus 1. And just a side note, all the choruses are altered a little differently. I think there's maybe 3 choruses in this song, and they're all a little different.
I love that.
Yeah, just to give it a little, and like I told you, I wanted to fit in as much botanical shit as possible, so making each chorus a little different gave me the opportunity to kind of use different
references.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
You sly dog, you.
Yep. So in this chorus, in this draft 3, chorus 1 goes like this. Meet me in the garden under the moon where cherry blossoms fall like rain, 'cause I have something I want to tell you, and that is I love you, I love you. It's a very, very simple chorus. You could tell in this draft that things are still really fresh. I'm still trying to figure things out. I do mess up a few times here and there, but anyway, back to the lyrics. I was just trying to think of any and everything that the aunts nurtured in that garden. I was just picturing these beautiful pink cherry blossom petals falling and showering Sally and Gary with love. And this chorus is just very simple, both in lyric and in melody. Sally is professing her love, and I felt like it didn't have to be this grandiose gesture, right? Sally is a simple, organic girl. We know her connection to flowers, petals, nature in general, and I feel like nature is her way of showing that love.
Mm-hmm.
Nurturing and caring for the plants and flowers in her garden. That is true love to her, and she is sharing that with Gary in this song. So that brings us to verse number 2. That verse goes, I love the way that my sunflowers smile at me, and I've never smelled jasmine so sweet. And the way that the wind chimes and crickets sing, blend the night in perfect harmony. I guess I'll play you the draft now so you know what it sounds like before we go into explaining more of the descriptors in that section.
So meet me in the garden under the moon where cherry blossoms fall like rain. 'Cause I have something I wanna tell you, and that is I love that. I love you. Love the way that my sunflowers smile at me, and I've never smelled jasmine so sweet. And the way that the wind chimes and crickets sing, like a night in perfect harmony. Would you change anything? 'Cause baby, I know you feel the magic too. Well, I planted rosemary, baby, my love, well, it led me to you. So meet me in the garden under the moon where the willow trees turn down. 'Cause I have something I wanna tell you, and that is I love you.
Yeah, I need a bridge. All right, so yeah, more garden imagery. I really, like I
You're
said,
like,
I really just wanted to challenge myself to see how many flowers and plants and trees I can incorporate into the song. I
Yeah.
just wanted it to feel lush and magical, and I may have included the jasmine where I say I've never smelled jasmine so sweet. I wanted to incorporate the jasmine as a nod to her Amas Veritas love spell that she does in the greenhouse as a kid. For the longest time, I thought those little white star petals that she picks in that scene were star jasmine until we just
too.
recorded our Floromancy episode, and you pointed out that they were paper white roses instead.
The things we learn. I could have sworn
Yeah.
jasmine.
Right. In my mind, I'm just going to choose to believe that Sally also had jasmine in her greenhouse and garden.
Jasmine sounds better than trying to fit paper whites into a song.
And imagine if I still had my
Pinker
my,
sore.
my canker sore, I would have to
Paper
sing this.
whites.
And I've never smelled paper white so sweet.
Oh,
That would have
Lord.
been. I'm just gonna say in my mind, she used those in her Amasveditas love spell too, because jasmine just sweetens the deal, you know?
Yeah.
Jasmine smells so
I
intoxicating.
love it.
Right. And if you're gonna do a love spell, perfect to incorporate. I
Mm-hmm.
think. So the wind chimes, where I say, and the way that the wind chimes and crickets sing blend the night in perfect harmony. The wind chimes I added in because I was thinking of that scene where Gary comes over for breakfast and they're having the pancakes outside, and you could see that they have like wind chimes made of forks and spoons like hanging from the.
Yeah, I love it.
So it's just another bit of subtle imagery that I saw as being part of their world, and some of that background noise that they would hear subconsciously while gardening or being outside in that garden, right?
Mhm.
The crickets singing is a nod to that scene where Sally is writing her letter to Jillian, and her voiceover says, "When the wind is warm and the crickets sing, I dream of a love that even time will lie down and be still for." So the crickets singing also seemed like something that Sally associated with that true love, right?
Yeah.
Cricket singing reminded her of time lying down and being still for this man, this true love. Pre-chorus 2, I don't know if you guys noticed, is a little bit different. I say, "But would you change anything? Because baby, I know you feel the magic too." That part's the same as the first pre-chorus. But then I say, "Well, I planted rosemary, and baby, my love, well, it led me to you." And since I included the lavender in the first pre-chorus, I thought it would be cute to include rosemary in the second, since those two herbs are both highlighted in that final quote of the film, right? Plant
Mhm.
lavender for luck, plant rosemary by your garden gate. Sally never says she planted rosemary for love in the film. But I loved the idea of her planting the rosemary for love, because if you listen to our rosemary episode, rosemary is tied to memory and remembrance. So in my mind, she planted the rosemary by her garden gate to subconsciously remind herself of the Amas Veritas love spell she did as a child. She cast her line out, and her true love is coming back to her. And where does she first meet Gary? At her motherfucking garden gates,
I love that.
right? Where
Yeah.
the rosemary would have been planted.
Yeah, he comes waltzing right into that garden.
So in essence, maybe it was the rosemary that did in fact lead her to Gary, or lead Gary to her. Either
Mhm.
way, Rosemary may have had a hand in bringing these two together. It was at the threshold of that garden gate when Gary crossed over it to have that first conversation with Sally, and though he was there to question her for the crime that he suspects her of, the minute he walked into her garden, they both seemed smitten, like he forgot why he was there, right?
Stars in their eyes, like big, big heart eyes.
Exactly. It's like they both subconsciously remembered when and where their lives began to intertwine as children. Hers when she sent the petals off into the moon, and his when he saw them falling down onto him as he was riding his pony backwards. So it's all connected, right? So in chorus number 2, again, every chorus is a little bit different. I say, "Meet me in the garden under the moon where the willow trees," and then in the draft, I don't know if you noticed, I was like kind of humming the rest of that. I didn't really have like another line to finish that off. Yeah, I didn't have the last line to that second chorus just yet. I didn't know at that point what I wanted the willow trees to be doing, but ultimately in later drafts, I end up saying, "Where the willow trees whisper our names."
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I just loved the imagery of a willow tree's flowy branches whispering their names to them, further cementing their fate intertwined with the universe and the earth. So not only on the physical plane in their human lives, but also throughout space and time, kind of like that invisible thread theory. And Taylor Swift has a whole song about that too.
Oh,
She's
God.
got She's got a song called Invisible String, I think it's called. And the invisible string theory it's an actual theory. It's an ancient East Asian belief that the fate connects people with an invisible red thread, also known as the red thread of fate. The theory suggests that the thread is unbreakable, resilient, and time sensitive, and that it symbolizes the enduring nature of true connections. The thread can be stretched or tangled, but it will never break. So,
Interesting. That's really interesting.
yeah.
One of two things. If you've ever stood by a willow tree when those little leaves are just touching each other and making that rustling sound, that would be so easy to hear different things if you're in tune with nature. And
Right.
that is such an easy way to get message from a tree. And our Following the Thread series. Go listen to that where we talk about the spinning of your fate. We're going to keep going with that series later on down the line. And I'd like to revisit this theory and learn more about it.
Yeah, for sure. So the imagery of this willow tree whispering their name into the wind and intertwining them with the cosmos was just a beautiful thought to me, like a beautiful concept. I was also kind of thinking of Mother Willow from the Disney cartoon Pocahontas. Do you remember her character?
I
And
do.
she was always my favorite character from that film. And in that film, the grandmother willow is a sentient weeping willow tree who serves as an advisor to Pocahontas. She's depicted as an ancient and wise figure. She acts as a spiritual advisor to Pocahontas. I could almost see Sally being the earth sign, the Virgo that we think she is, going around to different trees on her property, having conversations with them, asking for their knowledge and their guidance.
Oh my God, that's adorable. Like going to the oak tree. All right, well, what do you think of this guy? All right, I'm gonna go talk to Grandmother Willow. I'll ask her
Yeah.
what she thinks. Oh,
Right.
that is so cute. There's I think I told this on this podcast before. There's a willow tree out by the pond behind us. And when I nannied the little girl who would stay here, I would take her on the golf cart and we would ride under the willow tree and like car wash style, let all the branches go over our head. And I called it Grandma's hair. And every now and then she'd be like, "Can we go through Grandma's hair today?" It was so cute. And I just instill that in the kids, man. But I love Grandmother Willow is such a like, you said it perfectly. I can't sum it up any better than you did, but there's no way there's ever a willow that big that you could sit on its like chopped off stump.
Yeah, there
Which is-
were two willow trees around my parents' house as a child, like growing up, that, I would always just be in awe of their beauty and like how majestic they were. Unfortunately, they were chopped. Well, one fell naturally due to a thunderstorm, and the
Wow.
other one was on a big lot of property and eventually got chopped down when they wanted to build on it. And they just build like these stupid mansions on top of it. So the most beautiful ancient willow tree, and it's gone. And I was so upset when they chopped
Yeah,
that
it's
down.
so sad.
Yeah. So one thing that I did pretty subconsciously, which kind of makes me giggle a little bit now looking back at it, I wrote this song prior to reading the last two books in the Practical Magic series. So that would have been Magic Lessons and the Book of Magic. And Magic Lessons, Maria's story is where we meet Samuel Diaz, Maria's seafaring love-hate interest,
Yeah.
right? Love-hate interest, who tries to win her love by bringing her all of these exotic trees from different places all around the world and planting them on the Owens property on Magnolia Street. And in this song, I had included the cherry blossom and the willow tree, not even really knowing the whole Samuel Diaz storyline, but knowing what I know now, I think the addition of some of the trees is a fun little unintentional Easter egg, kind of honoring Samuel Diaz and his involvement with adding some of those magical tree spirits to the Owens property. And I'm sure Sally has formed a unique and spiritual bond with each and every tree that Samuel Diaz has planted there.
Totally. Very nice.
Yeah, so at the end of this draft, I stopped after chorus 2, declaring that I need a bridge. The next draft 4, recorded the same day, February 26, 2022. This next draft is kind of like figuring out that bridge. This entire draft is kind of me playing around with the bridge, which is actually the same chords and melody as the pre-chorus. So the bridge is actually kind of like the same as the pre-chorus. The only difference is that at the end of it, I hold out the last word to give it a heightened crescendo effect that will then take us into what would be an instrumental solo. And we haven't done any pre-production for this song at all yet, so the instrument that will take that solo is yet to be determined, but it really could go any way. It could be a fiddle, it could be an organ, maybe an accordion, which would be cool if we're keeping with that Sixpence None the Richer, Kiss Me kind of vibe.
Totally.
So the lyrics to the bridge are, "You said curses only have power if you believe, but then you risked everything, 'cause baby, you pulled that curse out like a weed."
Mm-hmm.
So I will let you listen to that bridge now, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. Well, you said that curses only have power if you believe, and then you risked everything, 'cause baby, you pulled that curse out like a weed. Okay. So yeah, that's the bridge. Really short and to the point, pulling that curse out like a weed. This is alluding to Gary's whole outlook, right? He tells Sally, curses only have power when you believe in them, and I don't. So perhaps just by Gary not believing in said curse, he was able to help alleviate Sally's worries about it, and maybe even give the curse less power because he wasn't feeding it with his fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love the wordplay and the garden imagery of Gary literally pulling this curse out like a weed.
Yeah.
Because weeds are rooted deep, they're systemic, kind of like that of a curse. It stems from somewhere, but in order to rid of something that has a chokehold on the way of someone's way of living, someone's life, you have to get it at the root cause, right? You can't just like clip it off the surface and then expect it to not come back. So this kind of goes back to that conversation that we just had with Karen Awad, right? Which we have a great episode coming up next week for you guys. So definitely tune in next week if you want to hear her whole conversation. She kind of analyzed all of the inner work that Sally had to do to overcome her lack of self-esteem, step into her own power. And for a long time, Sally was crippled by fear, and that fear really fed that curse. So for Gary to come along and say, I call bullshit in regards to this centuries old curse, I think that was really refreshing for Sally to hear, and that may have even helped her eventually break it by giving her the permission to tell that curse to fuck right off, and she stepped into her power, right?
Do you remember like the moment somebody told you, well, like the devil's not real? And in my mind, I'm like, but yes, he is. Yes, he is. Like as a young Catholic person, but then you grow and learn and you're like, oh, this thing doesn't have control over my life. Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to go that route.
100%. So that's basically what that whole bridge is. A very short and sweet bridge, but it holds very deep-seated meaning, just like a weed, right? So Gary's pulling that weed right out. He says, I don't believe in this bullshit. Draft number 5. After that instrumental solo, after the bridge, there's no break here, which is what I typically do after a huge bridge. But for this song specifically, I go right into that last chorus and it stays kind of huge. It stays like in the moment, you know? It's kind of like the same thing. Sally's swept up in this love now. Like, you know, there's no stopping her, no break there. So the lyrics here, again, the choruses are all a little different from each other. So this chorus, this last chorus says, meet me in the garden under the moon where the frogs sing their chorus in twilight. And they know something I want to tell you is that I love you. So lyrically, I really loved the idea of bringing the frogs back. I had so much garden imagery with all the flowers and the trees and the breeze and the wind chimes. And I also thought it was important to include not only the flora in this garden inspired song, but the fauna as well. I wanted to spotlight some of the critters hanging around the Owens garden on a warm spring or summer night. And we talked about the crickets in an earlier verse, and we talked about the black toads singing on our Magnolia Street song, right?
Here they come again.
Here they come again. I thought it would be fun to bring them back, especially with the Jimmy connection and frogs being a huge motif throughout the film and the book. But here, I chose to paint them in a more arbitrary light, kind of more part of the landscape in the background, and not so much the dark main character villain energy that we associate the frogs with in the film.
Yeah, they're the nighttime soundtrack.
Exactly. And here in this song, the frogs are singing in praise of true love, and there's just something so magical about being in your garden at twilight when the fireflies start casting their glitter on the night and hearing the frogs and the crickets singing their night song. And I think we talked about this in our frogs episode, like how empty would the nighttime feel if we didn't hear any of that?
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
You're totally right.
Yeah. I'm going to play the 5th draft for you guys right here, and then we'll discuss a little more about it. So here's draft 5.
So meet me in the garden under the moon where the frogs sing their chorus in twilight, and they know something I want to tell you is that I love you. Love the way your love grows like those grapes on the vine. Bitter fruit bursting our hearts wide open, and the message we heard through these garden gates. For in love whenever you can, whenever you can.
like your development there, right? How you were figuring it out. You're like, can't fucking start that high. We gotta grow from somewhere.
Yeah. I'll tell you a little bit about the final verse. So, the lyrics there. I love the way our love grows like those grapes on the vine. We bit the fruit, bursting our hearts wide open. And the message we heard through those garden gates, obviously fall in love whenever you can. So there's something to be said about like biting a juicy piece of fruit in a lush garden. I chose grapes here, not an apple, but I was trying to draw a parallel between the whole story of like the Garden of Eden and that forbidden fruit, that temptation, and in Sally's case, the temptation of love.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for her entire life, dangling true love in front of Sally was kind of like that apple or that juicy grape hanging on a vine. It was,
Don't touch it.
yeah, it was all forbidden fruit. She couldn't really ever take a bite because of her fear over how this curse would wreak havoc on her life and, kill the man she loved.
Mm-hmm.
But by this point in the film, since this song was written with the film's finale garden scene in mind, the curse had already been broken by this point. She's no longer afraid or crippled by the fear of that curse. Love is no longer forbidden. Love is now thriving. She watches her love for Gary and his love for her grow like those grapes that were once that forbidden fruit.
I
And
like that.
yeah, and grapes grow on a vine, and a vine is a plant whose stem requires support in order to climb and grow. And her and Gary are creating this strong foundation of their love. It's budding, it's flowering, it's thriving, most importantly, and it's just gonna grow stronger and stronger, right? So they're both able to take that bite out of the fruit now, and she acknowledges that taking that bite will, in fact, burst her heart wide open. She's realizing that she is allowed to be vulnerable and show her true love, who she really is, with no fears or reservations. And his love for her and lack of fear over this curse has emboldened her to step into her own power, where she can really be herself around him and the whole town for that matter. And I think that's really important in any relationship. If two people can be together and not try to change one another, but truly accept each other and all their quirks and their flaws, that can really help a relationship thrive because no one's voice is being diminished, no one's made to feel small. And if you really can be yourself with someone else, I just think there's something really special, not to mention healthy, about that. And when you're in a relationship with someone, you want to bring out the best in each other.
Absolutely.
So I just think this is such a beautiful and summery romantic song that just speaks to all of those testaments of true love.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, so that's basically all the lyrics, all the drafts. And then, like I said, that draft 6 is just the completed song. So instead of adding that draft here, we can just play the song now. Was there anything else you wanted to add before we jump into this song?
This was on the list of songs we wanted to put on our EP, right? We had an option of 4 songs, and I know we talked about this probably in the last Song-i-SODE, and it came down to this and Phone Tree Day, I think. And this song is just so beautiful. You can't help but like sway your way through it. But like you said, we had a ballad already on our EP, so we put Phone Tree Day on there instead.
Yeah.
But that's not to say this is absolutely going to be recorded one day, and I totally can see a little button box, in the background, a fiddle in the background, just absolutely like night noises, like little crickets at the very end or something like that.
Absolutely.
Wrapping it all in a nice little bow.
Would be so pretty. Yeah, for sure. All right, let me get my guitar. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Mysterious way in the breeze, and I've never smelled lilac so sweet. And the day that the nightshade brought you to me, underneath the cursed rose canopy. But would you change anything? 'Cause baby, I know you feel the magic too. So
change anything, 'cause baby, I know you feel the magic too. Well, I planted rosemary, and baby, my love, well, it led me to you. Meet me in the garden under the moon, where the willow trees whisper our names, and they know something I wanna tell you, and that is I love you. I love you. You said that curses only have power if you believe, and then you risked everything, 'cause baby, you pulled that curse out like a weed. So meet me in the garden under the moon, where the frogs sing their chorus in twilight, and they're singing a song that I wrote for you. It goes, I love I love the way our love grows like those grapes on the vine. Bit the fruit, bursting our hearts wide open, and the message we heard through those garden gates. Fall in love whenever you can, whenever you can.
I love this song. I just love garden magic and romance in the 90s.
And three very awesome, very niche things.
Yeah, that dress, freaking killer.
Right?
That dress is awesome.
I had a skirt like that in high school.
Yeah, same.
Those were like really popular. Those like mesh black lace over like polyester print.
Yeah, like what are those called? Not a jumper. The thing you wear underneath a dress.
A slip?
A slip
Yeah,
dress.
slip dress, right. Yeah, those were popping in the 90s. I think everybody might have had one or two of those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very cute. The only other thing that I wanted to acknowledge, and this is basically what you were saying before, this was one of the songs of interest when we were trying to figure out all the songs we wanted to record for our album with Plaid Dog. I think it was All Hallows Eve that we were deciding between this one or All Hallows Eve, because both of those songs have the same slower tempo, 3/4 time signature. They both have a waltz type of feel, and we just thought they were too similar in style. So I think if we had to choose between the two, that's why All Hallows Eve. All Hallows Eve just seems more intricate and more dynamic, and it has so like better peaks and valleys, and it
Absolutely.
just hit us in the feels so much more than this one. I love this one, but I
God.
think we can both agree that All Hallows Eve speaks to that overall triumphant feeling of self-empowerment, breaking free from a curse, finding true love, and of course Halloween, right?
Yeah, right decisions were made.
Yeah, I couldn't envision closing our first album without All Hallows Eve. So it's just so epic, right?
Still makes me cry.
Yeah. So ultimately, I think that's why we decided to go with All Hallows Eve over Meet Me in the Garden, even though they sounded very, very similar.
Yeah, can't wait to share all of this EP with you guys. I'm chomping at the bit.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming, maybe by October.
But that's all I have for this song.
Thank you for putting this together. I just absolutely love this song. It's perfect for spring. Actually, I think by the time this comes out, we're heading out of May. But y'all, gardens are popping right now. Wear bug spray, but have yourself a little garden party. Ah, it just sounds so magical.
Yeah, we have another Song of So coming up in just a few episodes, right? We have another one coming.
Are we doing the summer solstice?
Yeah, we have a summer solstice episode, and then we're going to treat you guys to yet another song-isode before we take a little summer hiatus, right?
I bet you guys thought we were fucking around when we were like, we have 25 songs, and you're like, yeah, that's cute. And then we shared them every 3 months. Now you're getting them a lot more
Boom.
frequently.
Boom, 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 right?
Yeah.
Rapid fire. Yeah. It's just like we have so much stuff to share. It's so hard to decide what we want to share and when, but we want to make sure the episodes that we're putting out is also in correlation with the song episodes we're putting out, so everything is kind of cohesive and you have kind of a basis of what the songs were inspired by. So yes.
Oh, that's your baby. I thought that was mine.
It's 4 o'clock and she wants kibble. Usually gets kibble at this time.
I love it. Thank you very much. And tune in next week. You're not going to want to miss Karen Awad's amazing interview. I finished editing it and I was listening back through it today, and she just dove so deeply into the energetic healing and sacred sound that the Owens family could really benefit from to help move along their healing journey and break this ancestral curse.
Right. Do you think the aunts did any kind of sound healing or anything like that?
I can totally see Aunt Franny in her kimono, doing Tibetan bowls around the house.
Oh, for sure. 100%. You know they own some Tibetan bowls. If they're buying Jilly those awesome kimonos, for sure they have some kind of interest in Eastern philosophy, for sure. Right?
Oh my God, they're so cute.
Yeah. There was one other thing. Oh, yeah, guys, head on over to our Patreon if you want all the bonuses for today's Song-a-Sode, as well as all the other Song-a-Sode bonuses we have in our library to date, as well as those fun AI-generated songs we showed you today. If you guys
Those are so freaking cool.
want to go listen to those, they'll be over on the Patreon as well. And anything else?
For anybody interested, so as we mentioned, we are looking for an intern. We're going to probably be taking a break here over the summer, July and August, but we wanted to do something really special with our patrons because we want some one-on-one time with you guys too. I love you, Jess, but I need to talk to other people.
Same.
So for our $5 and up tier patrons, we're going to do a one-on-one sit-down Zoom session with each of you and just talk to you about what practical magic means to you, how it came into your life, how you're enjoying the podcast, and anything else you want to talk about. So those who are on lower tiers, maybe think about upgrading, and those who are not part of our Patreon, if you want to be part of the show and get on the show in a little interview and tell us what practical magic means to you, head on over to our $5 tier and up to access all that. And as Justina said, the $8 tier gets you all the music stuff.
Yeah.
And the $15 tier, you can join our Marco Polo group.
The Marco Polo group has been so much fun lately, has it not?
It is on fire.
Yeah. For a while, it was just a few of us in there, and, it's kind of crickets. We're going about our day. But now that there's 4 of us in there, it's like boom, 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 boom. We can't shut the fuck up. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
So
yes, ma'am.
It's been fun over there. And we just started up a Discord for the Wisteria Vine as well. So, anything we talk about in the Wisteria Vine chat, we can, upload pictures. And
And you guys get first dibs on a lot of stuff. You get the inside scoop.
Oh yeah. So all the behind the scenes stuff there. So yeah, join our Patreon. We'd love to have you over there if you want all of that, all those goodies. We have merch on Teespring. If you guys want to weigh in on anything we talk about on this podcast, you can email us at magnoliastreetpodcast@gmail.com. You can DM us on Instagram at Magnolia Street Podcast. We just want to hear from you, so reach out.
That's it.
That's it.
Tune in next week for a new episode. I'm Christina.
I'm Justina, and we'll see you next time. That was like Cher or Elvis. I don't know.
Oh, thank you. All right, then.
At the house on Magnolia Street, would you go down to Magnolia Street where the wisteria grow wild? At the house of magic and mystery, so would you go down to Magnolia Street?
Shelvis. What up, Shelvis?
Elvis?
Elvis's trailer park cousin.